Have you ever met a complete stranger and felt an immediate, unexplainable sense of connection? Or, conversely, an instinctual, groundless distrust? Have you ever woken from a dream so vivid, so packed with symbolism, that it felt less like your own creation and more like a scene from a forgotten, universal movie? Perhaps you've noticed it in StoryShow. The same hero, the same wise old mentor, the same terrifying monster appears in myths from ancient Greece, epic poems from India, and even in Hollywood blockbusters today, as if they were all drawn from the same master blueprint. These moments, these strange echoes and uncanny patterns, feel like glitches in our personal reality. They are subtle errors in the code of our individual experience that hint at a larger, hidden operating system running in the background. But according to the pioneering Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, these aren't glitches at all. They are features. They are windows into one of the most mind-bending ideas in all of psychology, the theory of the collective unconscious. Jung proposed that beneath our individual, personal consciousness, the part of us we think of as me, lies a deeper, second psychic system. One that is universal, inherited, and shared by all of humanity. Think of it as a kind of spiritual or psychological interneta, shared brain that connects every person who has ever lived. This theory suggests that you were not born a blank slate. Instead, your mind came preloaded with a kind of ancient foundational software, a set of psychic blueprints inherited from our ancestors' countless millennia of experience with birth, death, love, struggle, and the divine. These blueprints, which Jung called archetypes, are what program our most profound fears, our most powerful attractions, and the timeless stories we can't stop telling ourselves. To understand this shared brain, we first have to travel back to the early 20th century, to the world of Carl Jung himself. Jung was initially a close colleague and designated heir to Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis. But while Freud charted the seas of the personal unconscious, that hidden repository of our own individual repressed memories, forgotten traumas, and secret desires, Jung felt he had discovered a whole new continent lying beneath it. He believed Freud's map of the mind was incomplete. Jung proposed a three-tiered model of the human psyche. At the very top is the ego, which is simply our conscious mind. It's the director of our daily lives, the part of you that is listening to these words right now, making sense of them and relating them to your own experiences. It's the identity you present to the world. Just beneath the surface lies the personal unconscious. This is Freud's territory. It contains everything from your own life that you've forgotten or pushed away, the memory of a childhood embarrassment, a feeling you couldn't face, a skill you learned but no longer consciously use. It's unique to you, built from the bricks and mortar of your own personal history. But it was the third, deepest layer that was Jung's revolutionary discovery, the collective unconscious. This layer, he argued, is not personal at all. It is transpersonal, inherited, and identical in all of us. It contains the cumulative psychic experience of our species, the psychic residue of millions of years of human evolution. It's the wellspring of our instincts, our intuitions, and the universal symbols that resonate across all cultures. Imagine your mind is an island. The part of the island above the water, visible to everyone, is your ego. The land that is submerged during high tide but revealed during low tide is your personal unconscious. It's part of your island, but not always accessible. The collective unconscious, however, is the vast seabed itself, the foundation upon which your island and all other islands rest. It is the deep, dark, ancient ground that connects every single one of us. We may look like separate landmasses on the surface, but deep down, we are all part of the same earth. So, what exactly is stored in this vast, shared database of the human mind? It's not specific memories, like your great-great-grandmother's recollection of her first love. Instead, the collective unconscious contains what Jung called archetypes. Archetypes are not memories, but predispositions, innate, universal prototypes for ideas, images, and experiences. They are like empty forms or psychic templates that get filled in by the details of our own lives and cultures. Think of them not as the finished photograph, but as the unexposed film, waiting for life to imprint an image onto it. These are the ancient programs that come pre-installed in our shared human brain. Let's explore some of the most powerful archetypes that shape our world. The most famous is the hero. This is the universal pattern of the individual who ventures forth from the ordinary world, faces overwhelming adversity, slays a dragon, whether literal or metaphorical, and returns with a prize or a newfound wisdom that revitalizes society. We see this archetype in the ancient Greek myth of Hercules, in the Arthurian legends, and we see it in Luke Skywalker leaving his desert home to battle the Empire. We cheer for Harry Potter, Katniss Everdeen, and Frodo Baggins because their journey activates this ancient, heroic blueprint within our own psyche. We are drawn to these stories not just because they are entertaining, but because on a deep, unconscious level, they feel true. Then there is the wise old man, or its feminine counterpart, the wise old woman. This is the archetype of guidance, knowledge, and wisdom. It's Merlin guiding King Arthur, Yoda training Luke, or Gandalf advising the Fellowship. This figure represents our innate human quest for meaning, for a mentor who can illuminate the path in times of darkness and confusion. When we seek advice from a grandparent, a teacher, or a trusted leader, we are projecting this archetype onto them, searching for the wisdom that our collective soul knows is out there. Perhaps the most crucial archetype for personal growth is the shadow. The shadow represents the dark side of our personality, all the parts of ourselves that we repress and hide from the world, and even from ourselves. It's our selfishness, our greed, our irrational anger, our hidden shames. It's not necessarily evil, it's simply what is unconscious and unacknowledged. We see it personified in characters like Darth Vader, the dark reflection of Anakin Skywalker, or in the classic story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Jung believed that true psychological maturity wasn't about destroying the shadow, but about confronting it, understanding it, and integrating its lessons into our conscious self. To ignore your shadow is to leave it in control, to let it erupt in moments of crisis. To face it is the first step toward becoming a whole person. The evidence for this shared brain, Jung argued, is all around us, woven into the very fabric of human culture. How else can we explain the astonishing similarities in myths, legends, and religious beliefs from societies that were separated by vast oceans and thousands of years? Why did ancient Egyptians, Mesoamericans, and Chinese all build pyramids? Why do countless cultures, from the Epic of Gilgamesh in Mesopotamia to the Hindu Puranas, feature a story of a great flood that wipes the world clean? Why does the story of a hero descending into the underworld to confront death and be reborn appear in Greek, Norse, and Native American traditions alike? For Jung, this was the collective unconscious speaking. These are not borrowed tales, they are archetypal stories erupting spontaneously from the shared psychic wellspring of humanity. Dreams were another critical piece of evidence. Jung saw dreams not just as wish fulfillment, as Freud did, but as a direct line of communication with the unconscious, both personal and collective. When you have what Jung called a big dream, one that is intensely vivid, emotionally powerful, and filled with strange mythical imagery like dragons, magical trees, or mysterious figures, you may be tapping into the archetypal layer. A dream of falling might not just be about a fear of failure in your job, it could be the archetypal experience of losing your footing in the grand journey of life. A dream of discovering a hidden room in your house could symbolize the discovery of a new, unknown part of your own psyche. This framework also explains the incredible, enduring power of modern storytelling. The reason franchises like Star Wars, The Lord of the Rings, or the Marvel Cinematic Universe achieve such global, cross-cultural success is because they are not just stories, they are modern myths. George Lucas famously and consciously drew upon the work of mythologist Joseph Campbell, whose work was built directly on Jung's archetypal theories. These films resonate so deeply because they speak the universal language of the collective unconscious. They activate the hero, the shadow, the wise old mentor, and the battle between cosmic good and evil that is hardwired into our shared human software. We are not just watching a movie, we are participating in a timeless ritual. This is also why we feel those glitches from the beginning, the déjà vu, the sudden intuitions, the innate fears of snakes or spiders. They might be faint echoes from our ancestral past, archetypal warnings and patterns bubbling up from the shared brain. So what does this all mean for us, here and now? Jung's theory of the collective unconscious offers a profound and humbling reframing of who we are. It suggests that you are not merely a product of your 20, 40, or 80 years on this planet. Your mind is not an isolated island, but a peninsula, deeply connected to a vast continent of human experience that stretches back to the dawn of consciousness. You carry within you the echoes of every hunter, every mother, every shaman, and every king who came before. The structures of your mind are ancient. This idea is humbling because it reminds us that our individual ego is just a small part of a much larger story. Our personal triumphs and tragedies, while deeply important to us, are also expressions of timeless, universal patterns. We are all playing out variations of the same fundamental human dramas. But this idea is also incredibly empowering. It means that within you, you have access to a deep reservoir of ancestral wisdom, strength, and creativity. By learning to listen to your dreams, by paying attention to the stories and figures that fascinate you, and by bravely confronting your own shadow, you can begin to make contact with this deeper part of yourself. Understanding the archetypes can be a map for personal growth. It can help you understand why you fall into certain relationship patterns, why you are drawn to specific careers, and what you must face to become a more integrated and complete individual. It gives us a language to discuss the most profound elements of the human experience, the spiritual longing, the search for meaning, and the struggle to become whole. So the next time you feel a shiver of recognition at a myth, get lost in a movie, or have a dream that feels more real than reality, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this just me? Or am I, for a fleeting instant, touching the shared mind of all humankind? Are you simply processing your day, or are you listening to a whisper from the oldest part of yourself, a part that connects you to everyone, everywhere, and all at once?